Well, I wonder if that's going to mess things up. We'll find out in a minute. Morning, everybody. Jim Adkins here from Adkins Results Coaching on a Friday, and just a little bit to say, and I'll explain. I knew that was going to happen. Is just a little bit to say this morning, and I just wanted to reach out and talk to you about the February effect. And the February effect is a term that I just kind of coined, using other January effect or November effect from the investment world, but February effect. As I sit and talk to some of my clients, my students, my friends, and myself, I talk to myself quite often. I realized that people go through this, and I thought maybe I'd address it, and so you didn't feel so alone if you're going through this yourself. So, what I consider the February effect. Well, towards the end of the year, 2019, or the end of any year, but the end of this year, last year, we all get excited about setting new goals or reaching for new possibilities in the coming year. It's a new start. It's a fresh way to look at we've been struggling and tripping and falling over ourselves towards the end of the year as everything comes to an accumulation. And not all of us, and not every time, and not everybody, but certain times we all feel that way. So we look forward to the new year. We look forward to that fresh start, that reset button, and we make a goal or 10. And you start moving forward. Well, it doesn't just have to be February. This happens in every goal all year long, but February has a tendency to be the affected area of New Year's resolutions. Typically speaking, right about now, first week in February, second week in February is when most New Year's resolutions start to trickle away. Going to stop smoking, going to stop drinking, going to stop eating terrible, going to work out, going to save more money, going to make some investments, going to start that new business, going to stop being crapped on by people, going to change my relationships. All these wonderful goals, we get wrapped up, right? And I've heard it said a few times, and I believe in this. Most of us spend most of our time making a living as opposed to designing our life. And what that means is we get caught up in the day-to-day activities and the day-to-day responsibilities. Now, those are real. The responsibilities that we have are real. You need to pay your bills. You need to make sure that the kids are taken care of. You need to take care of yourself. So as you get wrapped up in those day-to-day things, you start to fall back, if you're not careful, into the old routines, the February effect. So you might find yourself right now looking at those goals as they're fading away, maybe even questioning yourself, well, it's not that important. I gave it a good shot and now I'm going to give it up. Or, I'll come back to it later. Right now, I've really got to focus on this. It's the February effect. So how do we overcome the February effect? Well, for starters, you need to start your day a new way. We talked about this last year, and we talked about it at the beginning of this year. When you do set your goals, you need to change your activities, change your mindset, change your view, change the way you think, smell, feel about certain things. And one of the best ways is to visualize your goal and keep that locked in. Now, I said it's the best way. I didn't say it was the easiest way. So we approached our goals. We wrote them down and stated them in the positive and in the now. We gave them a time limit, or a not just a limit, but a justifiable time frame. Right, as we see it linearly, we learned to measure, monitor, and master the actions that we take toward our goals. Well, right now comes the sensory acuity part. In every goal, and it's not just February, but I use February effect for the New Year's resolution. In every goal, there comes a time when you might stray, or you might be headed in a path that is not as beneficial as you might have thought it was going to be. And it happens. So you use your sensory acuity to get back on track. A lot of us will, when looking at our goal and the many ways that we can achieve that goal, start to divide our goal into many smaller areas. And you start looking at the pieces. You micromanage that big goal. It's more important than ever right now in this February effect time to go back to that one ultimate main overshadowing goal. Put all the little fragmented pieces back together into the idea that is your main goal. Just give it that nice smooth overtone again. Okay, I want to be healthier. I want to be better looking. I want to be more abundant financially. I want to be in a better relationship. And then redefine what that means for you. So take all of the pieces that are scattered throughout your life in the last couple of weeks, place them into a nice pile. Okay. Start to again weed the garden and look at the activities that you started doing. And I'll remind you that this is very important. Sometimes when we choose to better ourselves and we eliminate certain activities in our life that are not beneficial to us, we leave those activities go. We quit, we push them away, and we move forward. As soon as we start feeling successful and accomplished in any amount, sometimes we feel it's okay to bring one or two of those activities back into our life. We're doing much better now. A little bit of this isn't going to hurt. Don't fall into the trap. Um, Here's an example. Let's say you play 4 hours of video games a day. Unless you're a professional video game player, it's probably something you should not be doing. It's a waste of your time. And you are supposed to be running a business or continuing with your education or setting out to accomplish your inventions or starting that new business or changing your relationship with yourself and other people and developing relationships or reading a book, whatever it is, you've got that 4-hour time block. You decide that the video games are going to go away. So you add the wonderful stuff to your life. Pretty soon you start seeing results that are beneficial, successful, and positive. Why? Because that's how it works. And you get moving, and then pretty soon things are smoother, they're happening more, and all of a sudden you think it's okay to play a little video game or a lot of video games or eat that cake or the whole cake. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you start pulling that stuff back in a little bit of time. Well, that's called self-sabotage. And we all do it at times, and it's something to watch out for here in February. Okay, February effect, short and sweet. It's the time during any goal when you start to feel comfortable or you start to get lost in the abundance of the fragmented idea that once was, and you, one, choose to let it go. 2, forget about it and accidentally let it go. Or 3, self-sabotage the goal by bringing back in past or previous actions that were not beneficial to you. February effect. And again, it doesn't just happen in February. It can happen along the year at any time. But let's just say it's February, and after February is gone, it's going to happen again. Okay, it's gone. All right. How do you avoid it? Start your day better. Remember to go back and finish your sleep cycle by making your bed, or start your day with a completed task that will make you feel better at the end of the day by making your bed. One simple thing. How about before you get out of bed? Lay there and remember your dreams. Write them down. Keep a dream journal. Turn them and spin them in a positive note, even if you have terrible nightmares. Seriously, if you have a terrible nightmare about losing somebody or hurting somebody or being scared yourself, look at the positive side of that. It's your subconscious telling you that's not who you are. That's not what you want to happen. Go reach out to the person that you're afraid that might be distant or gone, or use them for positive. And then before you get up, before your feet hit the floor, be grateful. Show gratitude for what you have and plan your day successfully. Imagine if you could write the next page in your novel, what would it say? Would you write it before you get up and run and read it? Would you write it as it happened? Or would you sit down and write it afterwards? What would be the justification or ramifications of doing so? Plan your future, plan your life, design the life that you want, and have a fantastic February. All right. I love you. Until next time, on your mark, get set, grow.